Olive oil up 80%, sugar up 50%, pasta up 40%, and that's just in the last 2 years. Now add the worst European heatwave in recorded history, an ongoing war disrupting global grain supplies, and post-Brexit import costs quietly squeezing every single supermarket shelf in Britain. And you've got a perfect storm that most people are completely ignoring. But not you, because you're watching this video. Today I'm going to show you the 12 foods that every single person in the UK needs to be stockpiling right now, before prices rise even further, before shelves go empty again, and before you're left wishing you'd acted sooner. These aren't just random items. Each one on this list is either already facing a shortage, has seen a dramatic price spike, or is at serious risk of supply disruption in the coming months. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a complete, practical stockpile plan that could save your family hundreds of pounds and a whole lot of stress. Let's get into it. Before we get to the list, I want to make sure you understand why this is happening right now, because it's not just one problem. It's three major crises hitting at exactly the same time. The heatwave. Europe just recorded its hottest summer in over 2,000 years of data. I'm not exaggerating. Spain, Italy, Greece, and southern France, the regions that produce a massive percentage of the food that ends up on British supermarket shelves, are being battered by extreme heat, drought, and wildfires. Olive groves are dying. Tomato harvests are collapsing. Sugar beet fields are shriveling. When crops fail in southern Europe, the UK feels it within months. The Ukraine war. Ukraine and Russia together produce roughly 30% of the world's wheat, 60% of its sunflower oil, and a significant share of global fertilizer. Since the war began in 2022, those supply chains have never fully recovered. Global grain prices remain volatile, fertilizer costs are still elevated, which means every British farmer growing anything from wheat to potatoes is paying more to produce less. British households are now spending an average of £800 more per year on food than they were just 3 years ago. And analysts are warning this is not over. More price rises are coming. So the question isn't whether you should stockpile. The question is, which foods give you the most protection for your money? Here are the 12. All right, let's go through each food one by one. For each one, I'll tell you why it matters, what's happening to the price, and exactly how much to stock up. 1. Rice. Rice is the foundation of any serious food stockpile, and for good reason. It has a shelf life of up to 25 years when stored properly. It's one of the most versatile carbohydrates on the planet, and right now, it's under serious pressure. In 2023, India, the world's largest rice exporter, banned several categories of rice exports to protect its own domestic supply. That sent shockwaves through global markets. In UK supermarkets, the average price of a 5-kilogram bag of long-grain rice has risen by around 35% since 2021. Tesco, Asda, and Sainsbury's have all seen periodic gaps on their rice shelves in the last 18 months. What to do? Buy at least 10 to 20 kilograms of rice per person in your household. Store it in airtight containers, away from light and moisture. Lidl and Aldi currently offer the best value, roughly £1.20 to £1.50 per kilogram compared to branded options at £2 or more. Next up, canned tomatoes. This one might surprise you, but in 2023 and 2024, UK supermarkets actually began limiting how many tins customers could buy at once. That happened because of catastrophic tomato harvests in Spain and Morocco, the two countries that supply the majority of tomatoes consumed in Britain. Spain lost nearly 40% of its tomato crop in 2023 due to extreme heat and water restrictions. And with another brutal summer predicted, the situation is not improving. A 400-gram tin of chopped tomatoes that cost 35 pence in 2020 now costs between 65 pence and 80 pence in most UK supermarkets. That's a near doubling in price. What to do? Stock 24 to 48 cans minimum. They last 3 to 5 years. Canned tomatoes form the base of hundreds of recipes. Pasta sauces, soups, curries, stews. Aldi's own brand currently offers the best price at around 39 pence per tin. 3 olive oil up 80%. But let me give you the full picture. Spain produces roughly 45% of the world's olive oil. In 2023, a severe drought and heat wave destroyed nearly half of Spain's olive harvest. The following season wasn't much better. As a result, a standard 750 milliliter bottle of olive oil that cost £3.50 in UK supermarkets in 2021 is now selling for £6 to £10, depending on the brand and store. Some UK supermarkets quietly introduced purchase limits. Waitrose and Sainsbury's restricted customers to 2 bottles at a time during peak shortage periods. And here's the thing, olive trees take 5 to 7 years to fully recover after severe drought stress. So even if rainfall improves tomorrow, supply won't recover quickly. What to do? Buy 4 to 6 litres of olive oil now. It keeps for 18 to 24 months unopened. If price is a concern, stock up on sunflower oil as a backup, though as you'll hear in a moment, that has its own problems. 4 pasta, a British household staple, and one of the worst hit products of the last 3 years. Pasta is made from durum wheat, a specific variety that's largely grown in southern Europe, Ukraine, and Canada. The Ukraine war disrupted Eastern European supplies. Then droughts hammered harvests in Italy and Spain. Then energy costs spiked, raising the cost of pasta manufacturing. The average price of a 500-gram pack of dried pasta in UK supermarkets has risen by around 40% since 2021. Own-brand pasta at Tesco went from 29 pence to 70 pence. Some premium brands crossed the £2 mark for a basic bag. What to do? Dried pasta has a shelf life of 2 to 3 years. Stock at least 5 to 10 kilograms per person. Rotate your stock. Use older packets first and replace as you go. It's one of the cheapest calories you can store. 5. Baked beans. Now this one is very British. Baked beans are a national institution, and Heinz, the brand synonymous with them, has raised its prices dramatically. Between 2021 and 2024, Heinz increased the price of baked beans multiple times, citing rising ingredient, energy, and logistics costs. A standard 415-gram tin went from around 55 pence to over £1.10 in many stores. Heinz actually had a very public standoff with Tesco over pricing in 2023, one of the most talked about supermarket disputes in years. Baked beans are protein-rich, calorie-dense, and incredibly versatile. On toast with rice and a jacket potato in a stew, they work for any meal. What to do? Stock 36 to 48 tins. Own brand baked beans from Aldi or Tesco are nutritionally near identical to Heinz and cost about 30 pence per tin. Don't pay the premium if you're stockpiling in bulk. 6. Canned fish. Canned tuna, sardines, mackerel. These are some of the most nutritionally dense foods you can stockpile. High in protein, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, and incredibly long-lasting, up to 5 years or more. Global tuna prices have been rising steadily due to overfishing, higher fuel costs for fishing vessels, and increased demand from Asia. In the UK, a tin of tuna that cost 65 pence in 2020 now costs £1.20 to £1.50 in most supermarkets. Canned mackerel and sardines remain better value and are actually more nutritious. Mackerel in particular is one of the most sustainable and affordable oily fish options available. What to do? Stock 24 to 36 tins of mixed canned fish. Include tuna for convenience, sardines and mackerel for nutrition and value. Asda and Aldi offer the best prices. Look for multi-packs. 7. Flour. During COVID, flour disappeared from UK shelves almost overnight. It could happen again. Britain grows a reasonable amount of wheat domestically, but we still import significant quantities, especially for specialist flours. Energy price spikes hit milling operations hard, and the knock-on effect pushed plain and self-raising flour prices up by 60 to 80% between 2020 and 2024. A 1.5 kilogram bag of plain flour from a major brand went from around 55 pence to over £1.50 in some stores. That's a 170% increase. Flour is the foundation of bread, pastry, pancakes, cakes, thickening sauces, and coating food for frying. It's irreplaceable in a kitchen. What to do? Store 5 to 10 kilograms of plain flour and 5 kilograms of self-raising. Keep it in airtight containers. Flour can last 1 to 2 years properly stored. Consider adding some bread flour if your household bakes regularly. 8. Sunflower oil. Before the Ukraine war, Ukraine supplied around 50% of the world's sunflower oil. When the war began in February 2022, that supply was immediately disrupted. UK supermarkets saw near-complete sunflower oil shortages within weeks. Prices tripled almost overnight. A 1-litre bottle went from around 89 pence to £2.50 to £3.50. Supermarkets rationed purchases. Some stores went completely out of stock for weeks. Supply has partially recovered, but Ukraine's agricultural capacity remains severely damaged. Another escalation or another bad harvest could trigger a repeat. What to do? Store 4 to 6 litres of sunflower oil. It keeps for 1 to 2 years unopened. Vegetable oil or rapeseed oil are good alternatives that are UK grown and more supply stable. Consider mixing your storage between the two. 9. Sugar prices have surged globally, up 50% or more since 2022. The causes? Extreme heat hitting sugarcane harvests in Brazil, the world's top producer. Drought damaging sugar beet crops across Europe. Increased demand from the ethanol industry competing with food uses. And energy costs for sugar refining. In the UK, Tate & Lyle, Britain's most iconic sugar brand, has passed on multiple price increases to retailers. A 1 kilogram bag of granulated sugar went from around 65 pence to over £1.30 to £1.60 in UK supermarkets. Sugar has an almost indefinite shelf life if stored in a cool, dry place. It literally doesn't spoil. What to do? Store 5 to 10 kilograms of granulated sugar minimum. It's one of the cheapest things to stockpile relative to how long it lasts. Also, stock some icing, sugar, and brown sugar if you bake regularly. 10UH. T. Milk/powdered milk. Fresh milk is something most of us take for granted, but it's one of the most fragile links in the food supply chain. It requires refrigeration, constant logistics, and a healthy dairy farming industry. British dairy farming has been under enormous pressure. Rising feed costs, energy costs, and extreme heat-stressing dairy herds. The number of dairy farms in the UK has fallen by over 60% in the last 30 years, and that decline continues. UHT milk, the long-life variety in cartons, and powdered milk are your insurance policy. UHT milk lasts 6 to 12 months unopened at room temperature. Powdered milk can last 2 to 25 years depending on packaging. What to do? Stock 12 to 24 litres of UHT milk per person, or 2 to 4 kilograms of good quality powdered milk. Both Aldi and Lidl stock UHT milk at significantly lower prices than the major supermarkets, around 85 pence to £1.10 per litre. 11. Chocolate and cocoa. This one will sting for a lot of British households, because we are one of the biggest chocolate-consuming nations on earth. In 2023 and 2024, cocoa prices hit their highest level in nearly 50 years. A devastating combination of disease, drought, and aging cocoa trees in West Africa, which produces around 70% of the world's cocoa, caused a catastrophic supply shortfall. The result? Cadbury raised prices. Lindt raised prices. Every major chocolate brand raised prices repeatedly. A standard 200-gram Cadbury bar that cost £1.50 in 2021 was selling for over £2.50 by 2024. If you love chocolate or use cocoa powder for baking, now is the time to stock up before the next wave of price increases hits. What to do? Buy 5 to 10 bars of your favorite chocolate for your stockpile. It lasts 1 to 2 years. More importantly, stock 500 grams to 1 kilogram of cocoa powder, which lasts 3 to 5 years and is far more versatile for cooking and baking. 12. Lentils and dried beans. Last but absolutely not least, lentils and dried beans. These are the unsung heroes of any food stockpile. Why? Because they are one of the best sources of plant-based protein available. They cost almost nothing, they last up to 10 years in dry storage, and they work in an enormous variety of dishes: soups, curries, stews, salads, dips. As meat prices have soared, beef up 20%, chicken up 25%, lamb up 30% in the UK over the last 3 years, lentils and beans have become an increasingly important protein source for British households watching their food budget. A 500-gram bag of red lentils currently costs around 80 pence to £1 and 20 pence at UK supermarkets. That same weight in chicken breast would cost £4 to £5. What to do? Stock at least 5 kilograms of mixed lentils and dried beans per person. Include red lentils, green lentils, chickpeas, and black beans for variety. They are the best value item on this entire list. Okay, so now you know what to buy. But where should you buy it to get the best value? I've done the research so you don't have to. Here's how the main UK supermarkets compare right now for stockpile shopping. Aldi. Best overall value. Aldi consistently wins on price for basic staples. Their own brand rice, pasta, canned goods, flour, and oil are all significantly cheaper than equivalent products at Tesco or Sainsbury's, often 30 to 50% cheaper. If you're building a stockpile on a budget, Aldi is your first stop. The only downside is limited product range. You won't find every item you need here. Lidl. Close second. Lidl is neck and neck with Aldi on most staples. Their Knightsbridge brand for canned goods and own brand pantry items are excellent quality at very competitive prices. Lidl also tends to have slightly better fresh produce than Aldi, which is useful for your weekly shop alongside stockpile buying. Tesco. Best for variety and bulk packs. Tesco wins on range. They stock the widest variety of products, often have larger pack sizes ideal for stockpiling, and their club card prices can bring staples down significantly. Always check for club card deals before buying. They regularly discount pasta, rice, canned goods, and oil. Sainsbury's, best for own brand quality. Sainsbury's Basics range offers good quality at low prices, though still slightly above Aldi and Lidl. Worth visiting for their multi-pack deals on canned fish, canned beans, and UHT milk. They frequently run buy two get one free promotions on these items. Asda, best online for bulk buying. Asda's website often lists bulk multi-packs that aren't available in store. If you're buying 24 tins of chopped tomatoes or 10 kilograms of rice, ordering online from Asda frequently works out cheaper per unit than buying in store anywhere else. My recommendation? Do your first big stockpile shop across Aldi and Lidl for the staples. Then use Tesco Clubcard or Asda online for anything you can't find at the discounters. You'll save a significant amount compared to shopping at just one supermarket. So there you have it. 12 foods every Brit should be stockpiling right now, and exactly where to buy them for the best price. Let me do a quick recap. Rice, canned tomatoes, olive oil, pasta, baked beans, canned fish flour, sunflower oil, sugar, UHT or powdered milk, chocolate and cocoa lentils, and dried beans. Now I want to hear from you. Comment below. Which food on this list are you already stockpiling? And which one surprised you the most? I read every single comment and I genuinely love hearing how you're all preparing. This community is brilliant. If you found this video useful, and I really hope you did, please hit the thumbs up button. It takes 2 seconds and it makes a massive difference to helping more people in the UK find this information. And if you want to see more content like this, practical, real-world advice on protecting your household from inflation, shortages and supply chain disruptions, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a video. I've got more videos coming on how to store food properly at home, how to build a 3-month emergency pantry on a £200 budget, and which household items beyond food you should also be stocking up on. Thank you so much for watching. Stay prepared, stay smart, and I'll see you in the next one.